name is Nina Millman. I'm a top producing realtor in the Miami area, and today I want to share with you a little bit of the wisdom that I picked up along the way about how to be successful in real estate no matter where you are, no matter what you sell. You could be anywhere in the country or anywhere in the world, and my tips and tricks will apply to you equally. So some of the stuff that I share is obviously my own personal experience, things that apply more to a woman than a man in some of the aspects. Today we're going to be talking about dressing, but to the extent possible I'm going to cover things that will work no matter where you are and who you are. So today we're going to cover what to wear in real estate. So for folks that have been doing this for a long time or are just brand new, there may be some tips and tricks that you can use to improve real estate sales based on how you present yourself. Because after all, real estate is selling you first. You're selling a service, which means you're selling yourself. So with dressing, there are really two main points that really apply to how to decide on what your look is going to be. And then you want to keep that consistent and just adjust it as you need to down the road. Then there are some tips and tricks that you will apply to all parts of your presentation, no matter which way you decide to groom yourself. As part of my course, I teach some aspects of setting your intentions for your brand, determining how you're going to guide your business model based on things like what you want your clientele to be and so forth. And those can be covered in separate topics that you can view on my YouTube channel, and also by signing up for my course, which is a full masterclass which covers all of those topics and many more. Okay, so point one on how to determine how to dress, and of course this applies to men and women, is to really know yourself. So who do you want to be in real estate? What's your reason for real estate? What is the kind of look that you want to project based on really who you are? So these things that you have to consider are like, what are some of your strengths? Are you a very, business-like numbers person? You may want to dress more in suits. Are you more of a casual, sporty person, and that's your background and where you're going to be maybe getting some clients from? Then you can dress a little bit more casual. But at the end of the day, you really need to know who you are. What is your brand? And again, I can guide you to my course that is all about personal branding, because that is a separate topic. But you do need to know that first and foremost to know what your look is going to be. For me, I'm very feminine. That's just naturally how I've always been. And so typically my go-to outfit is a dress and heels. Very simple, quick and easy to put on in the morning, and works for my body shape and also my personality. But I always make sure to wear heels whenever possible, because I do always want to show an elevated, more glamorous look, because I am reaching out to a high-end clientele. And also because my personal brand is glamorous. There's nothing about that I'm ashamed of. I don't tone it down for anyone. I love wearing makeup and lashes. And if that's you, don't let anyone tell you differently. Be who you are. That's really important. Be authentic. Point number two is to know who your client is. So real estate is very interesting. It's all about a win-win. It's all about marriage, really. You being married to the perfect client, the client being married to the perfect home, and then the deal being made between the seller and the buyer. So you get it. There's a lot of win-win. So you need to marry your personal style with your client. So for example, if you have a client that is maybe a lot older than you are, you may want to dress more conservatively. You may want to wear flat shoes instead of 6-inch heels, and just sort of tone it down to match their personality. Also, if you know that your client is really short, it's a good idea not to wear the 6-inch heels. Okay, so here are some tips and tricks that you can think about when putting together your wardrobe for work. Tip number one. Real estate involves a lot of walking, whether you realize this or not going in, and I didn't think about it at all. But when you show a property, you walk for hours and hours and hours from one unit to the other unit, around amenities, around houses and yards and neighborhoods. There is a lot of walking. So what I'm going to say is very obvious. Comfortable shoes, comfortable shoes, comfortable shoes. Now, it doesn't mean that you need to sacrifice style. As I said, I love wearing heels, and I typically do. I'm actually known for that. But there are comfortable heels out there. My favorite brand is Gucci. I know that is a little bit more on the high end, but on the low end, I love Steve Madden as well. And for guys, it's the same. Gucci loafers are butter soft. They are the most comfortable thing next to slippers that you will ever wear. You can walk for miles. So that is my tip number one, comfortable shoes. Tip number two is don't base how you look on the current price point of what you're selling. You might think to yourself, I'm starting out in real estate. I'm only selling, at a price point around 200,000, whereas I want to get to 2 million. You'll get to 2 million. But what's really important is that you're consistent. Don't change who you are, how you dress, or how you treat your clients based on your price point. That's just not effective in the long term. You always have to be thinking of your end goal, and it means that you're not giving your clients your best, which they deserve, regardless of how much they're spending. They're putting all of their time and trust in you, and they should get the same service no matter what the price point is at which they're purchasing. So make sure that you dress in a way that you feel is appropriate. And if that means that you wear high-end clothes for, a rental, it doesn't matter. It really matters that you have a brand that you believe in and that you're consistent. So point number 3 is actually one of my favorite hacks in real estate dressing, and it's called the designer difference. Well, I labeled it the designer difference. I'm not sure that that's what it's called, but I noticed there's so much in real estate that a lot of realtors wear a lot of very obvious designer labels. And there are 2 reasons for that, and they're very good reasons. And before I get into those, I do want to mention that designer clothes are not a requirement. Being neat, tidy, and professional is a requirement, but being, all labeled out is not. There are, as I said, some reasons to do so. So if you want to go that way, I do recommend, if you don't have anything at this point in your wardrobe that is designer and that has an obvious label, go and get something used. The great thing about designer items is that they hold up so well over time. They're very, very, very well made. So you can get something that's pre-owned very inexpensively. I've purchased things on eBay. I know there are stores like Rebag and so on that you can use as well to get, a nice belt or a pair of shoes, whatever it might be. You may not be as comfortable with getting a pair of shoes and wearing somebody else's shoes, but a belt for sure. I've done it. It's great. And it's a really inexpensive way of showing that you are already in that luxury environment. And so that leads me to my 2 points of why to do that. The first point is because it shows that you have already achieved success. Whether you're brand new and you haven't sold anything, it looks like you've already made some money. And people are putting a lot of trust and faith in you, as well as putting their money in your hands. So they want to have a sense of security. And that's a very easy way for you to show them that you've already done some good work and you have that behind you so that they feel a sense of security in working with you. The second reason is that if you do want to get into the high-end sphere, and most of us realtors do, then you want to be able to match with your clients. They want to feel like attracts like, that you're in a similar world, that you have similar shopping habits, similar places that you eat, similar things that you do on a day-to-day basis, and that you have things in common. Again, it's a marriage. You don't want to marry someone that you have nothing in common with. Okay, so here are a couple of other tips and tricks. When it comes to grooming, it's super important whether you're a guy or a girl, make sure you get your manicure and pedicure done professionally. If you can do it well on your own, great, but just make sure that your nails are really neat and tidy. People do see that you're, signing, giving them paperwork to sign, gesturing with your hands, handing them keys, whatever the case may be. They will see your grooming, so make sure that that is taken care of. I also recommend a little tip, and I don't know if everybody thinks of this, but I think it helps a lot, is to smell expensive. So if you just invest a little bit in some, cologne for a guy, perfume for a woman, and again, try and wear the same one all the time for work so your clients know you and feel, kind of like they know you by your smell too, as well as how you look. It's a nice little trick to keep consistent. So if one day you're wearing something like very floral and then the next day something very sweet, it kind of throws people off. Just be consistent in everything you do. And there are a lot of places where you can get perfumes and colognes for a little bit less. So it's not something that you really have to invest a lot of money in. Okay, so now I have 2 pieces of bonus content. One is probably going to be everybody's favorite, which is the what not to do, and this is based on personal experience, so I've seen people do it, scary as it sounds. And then the other one is talking about one thing that I find really important. It's called the closing outfit. So let's start with that. What is a closing outfit? To me, when you have been showing property to someone for a while and you've kind of narrowed it down to the property they really love, and you kind of have a feeling that this is the one, wear your most powerful outfit. So for me, I tend to wear, leather pants or a leather skirt, the highest heels, things that show that I'm kind of, meaning business. For a man, it could be that it's his power suit, whatever it is that makes you feel the most confident, makes you feel like you're a closer. And in that sense, you will sort of guide them through that process a little bit more easily. Don't wear something casual when you know that today is the day that you're going to find the perfect property for that client. Okay, so here's the most fun part of all, what not to do. And why is it fun? Because I've seen people do all 3 of these things, believe it or not, and actually multiple times. So the first thing, and you would think this is so obvious that no one would do it, but they do. especially in places like Miami, where you have Miami Beach, a beach town. People think it's okay to wear flip-flops to work when they're selling property. It's not. Never, ever, ever wear flip-flops. And a little side note, when I met my ex-husband, who's a very successful broker in this city, that's what he used to do. He used to wear flip-flops and torn jeans, and his excuse was, oh, I'm just selling $200,000 condos. Sure enough, I made sure that he changed his wardrobe, started wearing beautiful slacks and, well, very simple slacks and polo shirts actually, with beautiful Gucci loafers, and now he sells multi-million-dollar properties to stars. So something to think about. Second thing, never ever ever to do, and I have seen this more times than I can count, is don't wear your yoga pants, ever. I don't care if you paid over $100 from Lululemon for said yoga pants. I don't care if they, make your figure look amazing. This is not a work appropriate outfit ever. So please don't do it. And then tip number 3, and I've also seen this, is if you are trying to squeeze in a showing and you're busy, it happens to all of us, don't wear what you were wearing previously when you were trying to enjoy your weekend. And yeah, realtors work on weekends. For example, your bathing suit and cover up, and yes, I have seen this, don't continue to wear that straight to the showing. Please go home and get changed. So in conclusion, think about who you are, who you want to be, and what your career is going to look like, and then dress appropriately and consistently and have a lot of fun with it. Never ever let anyone tell you what's right or wrong, because at the end of the day, you're selling yourself.